Hey guys, this is Joey and welcome to my audio zone.
Hi Mattijs, how are you?
Hey Joey, I'm doing well, how are you?
All good, thank you. Good to have you in the show.
Yes, thank you.
It's been a while, huh? Since we spoke.
It's been a while for sure, yeah. It's been a while for sure.
You've been busy and I've been doing nothing in music, so that's probably the reason.
Different stuff, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. But it's good, you know, in the end it's all good.
Yeah, and funny that I just saw your Facebook Live a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and then we started talking again. So
funny of you to check in, because I was looking at the people who checking in. It's like, hey, Mattijs is checking. Like, hey, how is he doing? And let's have a quick chat about music. So
live streaming is the future. You get connected to people that you didn't connect to in a while. So
I actually started with it like a month and a half ago. But it really works. People love it. There's a lot of knowledge to share, and that's actually what we're doing right now as well. And I think it's just good to let people know how things work and give them options for the future.
True.
Yeah, so let's start with a short introduction. I guess a lot of the listeners will already know you, but for the people who don't know you, who are you?
Who am I? Okay, so I'm a 35-year-old music supervisor at Revealed Recordings. Started together with Hardwell, the label, back in, 7 years ago already. Mm-hmm. Started working with Hardwell 10 years ago at DigiDance, where I started as an intern. Everybody has to start somewhere in the industry.
Like getting coffee for everyone.
Yeah, it was a low for me back then. It was a local label, which was a really big label, which had like 20 people working there when I started there, and then 3 years later it went bankrupt, and I was one of the 5 people still working there. So I did like everything. So all the departments within the music industry, record label side, I did. So licensing, even the warehouse, promotion, PR, everything. Yeah, it was a big learning school for me. And then stepped over to Cloud9, where I was creative manager for 3 years. Mm-hmm. I signed a lot of guys there. So Hardwell was already there, and then I signed Danik, Dyro, Bassjackers, Artie. So a lot of stuff, a lot of guys that were like blowing up after that. Mm-hmm. And after 3 years, I went to Sorted Management to do the official management of Hardwell. Danik and Dyro were added later, Thomas Nielsen, and now we manage Comro as well, who's a very, very big talent from Canada. Mm-hmm. And still doing a bit for Revealed, less and less, because we got more people right now. When we started, it was just me and Robert.
I can imagine, the label is getting bigger and bigger every year, of course. Yeah,
so I do like A&R supervision on the music side.
So your main occupation at the moment is the management from Hardwell, or?
Yeah, so I do like the music management from within our management company. I focus on the music management for all our guys.
Okay.
So that includes Bali Bandits, Charming Horses, Manse, and then also sometimes you forget, and then there's Harris, who is I wanted to say a story that the Harris is like a different artist. He's a singer-songwriter.
Yeah, he's good as well.
Starting an artist career. And on the other hand, he's a songwriter, so he's writing amazing songs for other people as well.
Okay.
So that's a different side, but I mainly focus on the management for their music, and then obviously Hardwell is a big piece of that.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. And if you I can imagine you have a lot of artists to manage and to watch out for. All of those artists have social media, I guess. I hope.
Yeah.
And what's your opinion about social media nowadays? Like, how important is it to be on social media as an artist? And what do you think is important to do on social media? How to use it as an artist to stand out?
Social media is really important right now, as people need to be visible everywhere. And the most important thing for artists is to have great content. So you shouldn't just be visible, but you should bring exclusive, great, original content. Mm-hmm. And that's really hard nowadays, but that's the way how it works now, and that you have to be on top of that as well. So I know a lot of artists are not like that, 20 years ago, an artist was just a guy with a guitar or a keyboard. And at nighttime, he started practicing with his band or with a few people. And then in the weekends, he was performing. And then the record label was selling the records. And that was his job, And nowadays, an artist should work on his social media like 24/7.
Yeah, because I get a lot of artists who tell me like, I don't know how to manage the social media part because I want to make music all day. But do you think it's important to invest like at least 1 or 2 hours a day to create content for the social media?
So for the focus of a new artist, I wouldn't suggest to be focused every day on your social media, but do post content like every other day that you're still visible and that people still see what you're doing as an artist. So you don't have to put 2 hours of your day every day into social media, as I can assume that it will take the focus away from what you're like to produce or be creative about.
Yeah.
And that's also where we as a management come in. From within our management, we have a social media department with guys that are constantly focused on getting great content, but also making posts and also doing scheduling for these artists. So at the start of the week, they'll get a schedule, and we say, okay, we're going to post about this. It can be an announcement for a live show. It can be a short video they have to record in the studio, but they can put that on the Monday, and then we know we have this video to be posted on Friday.
Yeah, so you create a schedule for the artists.
Yeah, so then they know, okay, so I approve these and these posts. So it's Tuesday now, so I know that until next Monday or Tuesday, I'm done with social media because every day something will happen,
Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's actually a good way to do it, because I think a lot of people are way too busy in their heads with the social media all day long. So creating a schedule.
So maybe as a little short like side note, a little bit what you experienced, I experienced as well 3-4 years ago. I had a burnout, and from that point on, I'm not doing much with social media anymore. Before that, I was doing everything for Hardwell on social media, like his Facebook, his Twitter, everything in between the normal day-to-day tasks. So that I can't really imagine how I cope with that back in the days.
Yeah, I can imagine, because it's just so busy, and especially if you mention artists like Hardwell, it's just there's so many things to arrange that it's too much for one person.
Yeah, but for new artists it is as well, as you have to find creative content. If a lot of stuff is happening around you, it's easy to create great content.
Yeah.
But if it's not, then you have to create it, from nothing. So that's even harder maybe for starting producers to be noticed and to get great content, to be creative about it. And sometimes I say like everybody should be a marketeer, so
it's almost a second
make
job.
great media. Yeah.
And do you think social media helps by getting your record signed at a label like, let's say, Reveal, or is it something you look at when you get a new track by a new artist?
Not at all, actually.
No, it's just music.
It's music comes first. If we love the record and your social media is like so bad, then we'll maybe give some suggestions or tips. But in the end, it starts with your music.
Yeah.
So there's also tons of examples of guys that don't do anything with Facebook and only put their pictures on Instagram like every other day, and got like a few 100,000 followers and got 100 million streams on Spotify. So it is possible, but I would suggest that you be visible everywhere.
Yeah, but you would say that if you are active on social media and you do have creative content, your chances are probably bigger to be successful, or
you can get noticed.
Yeah,
So I'm a label guy, but I also just do like constant scrolling on Facebook and see stuff popping up on my timeline. So if you have great content and one of my friends likes it, then it probably will pop up on my timeline. Maybe not if one friend likes it, but maybe if a few like it, then eventually I will see it, And not that I'm a big decision maker, but that's the way how it works to gain more fans.
Yeah. And do you often like find new artists on via social media, or do you just check the mailboxes? Or
No, we do find stuff online. Just going over Spotify and like emailing artists that just have one remix or one single on Spotify or just a free download on SoundCloud that we like. Mm-hmm. We just proactively email people as well. Say, we love your sound, we love your stuff. Do we have more? Can you send us demos?
Yeah,
you know, and then
exactly.
we get like 5 demos from these guys that they didn't even send out to labels because they didn't know it was good enough. And then it turns out to be amazing stuff.
Yeah, you know? so it still is possible to be noticed online as long as the music speaks for itself, probably.
For sure. There's like 1 million kids out there that want to be a producer or a DJ. But if you get great music, eventually great music will always get heard.
Yeah, I actually honestly believe that as well. And if you're like an artist, do you think it's a must-have to have like a publisher, a manager, a booker, or even a label where you release oftenly? Because
well, it depends. Like if you come to a certain stage, you know, we get tons of emails from artists that want to have management. Mm-hmm. I think we have 6 artists right now, and we started 5 years ago, and there were 3 or 4 other artists with us. So in 5 years, we had 10 artists. So that's every year like 2 artists. Mm-hmm. So that's not a lot if you get like 3 emails a week with artists that want to have you as a management. Yeah. So we are very picky, but I can really see the advantage of having a management. For example, for the social media stuff or strategic planning, how you schedule is. You don't want to be the guy as an artist to email 100 times with your label about artwork, scheduling, remixes, legal stuff. You don't want to do that because then if you start doing that, then you will have 3 songs and a year later you have 3 releases but no new songs because you didn't have the time. You know?
Yeah. That was actually the reason for me to take a management as well, because I was just too busy contacting everyone instead of making music, and that's actually the most important thing I think you should do as an artist.
Exactly, that's our rule, you know. Like we do everything from within the management for the artist to be able to focus on what he is best at. You know, and some of our artists really like to do social media because of their background. They did a marketing studies or they're really involved with it. Mm-hmm. And some really like to produce their own music video because they're really creative. And they used to do that before. They were like breaking through as an artist, you know. So there's all different aspects that they can do. But we try to have everything in our hands apart from making the music. Well, and then the second question you ask about a booker and like an agent, mm-hmm. that's even worse is not the best word for it, but like to be your own booker, that's gonna be annoying as well, as you have to really negotiate. And if you're the same guy that they want to book, you're the guy who's giving them a bad time, you know. Mm-hmm. So always try to get a booker if a lot of requests come in. If it's only a few, then it's better to do it on your own. Mm-hmm. You still have to pay a commission, obviously, to your booker. Yeah. But if it comes to a certain stage that you get like regular requests for bookings, then you should really focus on getting an agent.
Yeah, that's perfect advice, I think. And as an artist nowadays, like, what do you think you really can't miss at this moment? Like, is it the Spotify playlist? Is it a vlog? Is it experience or just professionals around you? Like, what would you say this is a must-have?
Okay, this is a must-have. It's stupid to say, but you gotta have a signature sound. Mm-hmm. So you have to stand out from the crowd, and that way you'll get noticed. So it's really hard, but it happens like every year. There's a few people standing up that have like a really big signature sound, like Avicii did, like Kygo did. Mm-hmm. You know, so it is possible. But it's hard. So that's one thing about the music. And then on the other hand, you should have Spotify playlist support right now. If you want to break through, if you want to get noticed, you should be in the New Music Fridays. You should be in the Fresh Electronic or like the 2 days hits. That's the big one. But you should have that, or you should, like, Spotify should notice you.
Yeah, because Spotify is like the platform at the moment to get noticed, and to actually get a chance to be noticed as well.
Like, there's a downside as well for playlists, because you can have 10 million plays and still nobody knows about your name. That's possible.
Yeah, that's actually possible.
It's possible, because when you're in a playlist that just people push play, but if you're in multiple playlists and you do well on viral charts, then you will also get charted, like on Hypen maybe, or you get noticed on blogs and people start talking about you. On YouTube, people are tending to search on your name more than they'll just put something play and then So if you see on the whole range, you see your views and everything go up. Yeah. That can be the reason, or the result of getting a lot of playlists on Spotify.
Okay, so Spotify playlist is a must-have as an artist nowadays.
Yes, I think so, and that's also a downside, because every playlist is limited. So if you got 50 spots a week and you're not in there, and the next week you're not in there, there's like a ton of songs coming out every week, and only 50 spots to be in.
Yeah, that's hard. Yeah, that's actually really hard. I think that's becoming the hardest part right now, because there's just a few spots and there's so many music. So I think it's hard to be a Spotify playlist curator at this moment.
Yeah, it is. And if you compare to like 3-4 years ago, if you would ask me that question as a DJ producer, I would have answered like, you should be in the overall top 10 of Beatport. For definitely 2 weeks in a row.
That was it's back then.
Yeah, that was a big thing, because all promoters looked at it, and if you're in there for 2 weeks straight, and maybe your next song as well, then you'll definitely see a rise in your request for bookings like 3-4 months later.
Yeah. And is Spotify also the thing that you're the most excited about right now, or the most focused on right now, or is it something else?
Well, personally, I love Spotify. I've been adding the Spotify app on everyone's desktop or computer or MacBook that I went on a birthday for the past 4 years. Like family and friends asking, do you have Spotify? No, okay, let me install it.
So you're that biggest ambassador.
Everybody around me is using it. And every link that I get from friends or anything, did you check out this song, is always a Spotify link. So I love the service. It's very user-friendly.
It's really
and I'm discovering a ton more music than I did like 1 or 2 years ago, because it's so easy to discover new music. So I think it's a great thing for the whole industry, and also for artists that aren't able to sign with a big record label. They can get noticed as well. If they have a few good contacts at Spotify, or somebody just picks up the song and it tests well, then you don't have to be in a Spotify playlist at all. Just be in a playlist of someone who has a great following, and then it tests well, and there's a low skip rate, so people tend to listen to the whole song instead of skipping a song. Spotify will see that, and they will notice that, and then they will put it in one of their playlists, and maybe it's like a really small playlist locally, but if it tests well there, then we'll put it in a slightly bigger one, and so on and so on. So it can take up like 2 or 3 months, but you could end up like in one of the biggest playlists of Spotify and still test well and get like 100 million streams.
Yeah, and that's all because of the algorithm behind Spotify, right?
Sorry?
That's all because of the algorithm behind Spotify.
Yeah, it is, and that's what I meant. Like, great music will always be heard.
Yeah, because the crowd actually chooses. The crowd decides, like, if they like the track, they listen to it a lot, it will test good, and it will appear in a lot more playlists. Yeah,
like analytics are like, it's not the future, it's already now. Like before, your song sold well on iTunes, so you sold 1,000 downloads, and then you never knew how many times your song was played, Was it bought one time and then played one time, or did this guy play it like 1,500 times,
Yeah.
And now you'll see on your streams, you notice that people keep on streaming the song,
Okay, so in this period where we live now, with the Spotify period and the Beatport thing actually going down, I think, Where do you see like Revealed and Sorted Managed going within the next 5 years? Because there's so many things going on and there's so many things changing in this industry right now. Like, where do you see things going from here?
Well, for Revealed, maybe people noticed already, but we are changing the direction slightly. We're changing the direction. Still gonna do club records, but we're still gonna do those ones, and on the side have like songs that are really Spotify, like user listenable friendly songs.
Yeah, so less club and more listening, or?
Yes. So what we tend to see is that Beatport was great for club labels. And there were so many people buying there, so it was great for labels to make a living off. And then probably the smaller labels, like we didn't have this problem, but smaller labels probably had to let go a lot of people because there was like a drop of like 70% on income.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, so Spotify made up for that income a bit. But you'll see that the club records are not streaming as well as the more radio Spotify friendly records that you just put on and just can listen on the background or listen during daytime instead
and actually all day long, because club music you probably listen in the weekends or maybe at night, but Spotify is on your phone, on your laptop. It's everywhere.
And it's also the target group is so much smaller. Like Beatport was great because for labels it was great that somebody bought a song for $149 or $290 or $219, what is it? And now people buy a subscription on Spotify for $9.99 and they just stream your records. Yeah, that's cool. But if you stream your records like twice a week, and you did that before as well, but you bought it for almost $2 and now you just stream it twice. Yeah, so you'll see that there's a really big downside for club records.
Yeah, so you're probably gonna the Revealed is gonna change in sound wise, like it's gonna be more Spotify friendly.
Yeah, so we're gonna go wider. We'll always do club records because that's where Revealed became liquid, and it's still in our DNA, you know. But as a whole, like the whole company, Hardwell as well, he loves different stuff, different styles, like slower BPMs, really cool guitar songs, you know. So it's all still electronic, but the past 2 years, you saw that the EDM scene or the electronic scene became much more healthy because there was such a big hype around EDM. And there's so much more than EDM in electronic music.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm not saying that EDM wasn't good enough to be just such a hype, but 10 years ago it was trance music, and 10 years before when it started was like the house scene. So it evolves.
It keeps on evolving. Yeah, that's actually the beauty of music, I think.
Yeah, and nowadays with the easy way of listening through Spotify, you will get noticed so much more different styles. You know.
Okay, and like, where do you see, besides Revealed and Sorted Management, where do you see the biggest changes in the music industry? Because now streaming is really working its way up. It's already being big, but I think it's going to be even bigger. But do you think there's something else going on or will be changing in the next few years?
Well, what you see right now is that, for example, Taylor Swift is building her own streaming platform. So I really hope that it's not going to be scattered as it was before. So it's like Spotify is getting a monopoly right now, but you can choose between Spotify, Deezer, or Apple Music, you know, to stream music. But if there's going to be like 20 different ones as well, and people are working with exclusives. So Apple Music is doing a big deal with Dr. Dre or something, and then his album is only on Apple Music and not on Spotify. Yeah, that's really bad for like the user experience.
Yeah, because then you have to get like multiple subscriptions on some different kind of platforms.
Yeah. And then you have to pay $30 a month instead of $10. You know. Yeah. And that's bad for the whole industry. So I'm hoping that won't happen. But what you'll see is that a lot of people, like the bigger artists, like Taylor Swift, she's seeing that she's not making enough money on Spotify compared to iTunes. So she's bringing it back to her own platform where her core fans can be up there maybe with other music from other artists that are related to her. Mm-hmm. So what I see is that maybe a lot of artists are gonna build like a system for their core fans to be more of an experience than just music. Maybe a lot of media stuff is in there or exclusives, just for the experience of the super fans.
Yeah.
I think that's
interesting. I actually didn't think about it that way yet, but it's an interesting way of thinking about it.
Yeah, I think that will happen. And what I see, but that's more on the back side for labels.
Yeah.
I see a really downside for labels because not many, like the producers and artists will know that there's a royalty rate, and the standard royalty rate was normally like 20-25. And now it's going with digital, it's going to like 50% for artists. But there's a lot of companies right now like that are popping up that can work on your record for like 20 or 15%. So you won't get 25, but you will keep 80, 85. And that way, if that's going to be bigger, then a lot of labels are in danger, because if people choose for this service, then the artist will make a lot of more money. So you can say that he makes more money, but you can also say he has to have less streams or less, has to be less popular to make a living out of music, because he's getting a bigger piece of the pie, and he's the one who's making the music. So he should be the one most rewarded for it. Yeah. And then there's bigger labels out there that have like really strict rules on lower royalties, and mainly that's the majors who don't go over 20-25%. Yeah, that's a big downside for labels that I'll see the next 2 years. They'll be in danger for them.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's a really interesting way of thinking about it. I guess you're really right in there. I've never thought about it like that.
Well, it's if you look at like, if you only focus on Spotify, you say like, okay, I got 100 million streams. That's a lot of money. Yeah. If you sign it to a major who does great promotion, does a great video, does great promo or plug into radio locally, you all need that. But if you just focus at the Spotify place, and it is a great record, and you got people who have the contacts within Spotify, and then can work your record on Spotify, you will have 100 million plays on Spotify as well.
Yeah, and the income is 100% yours.
Exactly, and then still you have to buy and pay a lot of money to get your track on the radio and stuff.
Yeah, but that's like a one-time investment.
Yeah, and it's also a choice. Is an artist, does he want to be on the radio, or is he happy with 100 million streams and 85% of the income on that? You know?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think this is a beautiful way to end this episode. Actually, I think you gave a lot of perfect insights in the music industry, and gave a lot of great tips for starting producers. And actually, I learned something as well, so thanks for that.
Oh yeah, and another tip is that for Revealed, we check our demo pool inbox every week. So there's just a normal upload you can do on our website, and we check everything. So
cool. Yeah, that's good to know, because a lot of people still think that even the bigger labels don't check their demo boxes anymore because they're getting spoiled with a lot of demos at the time. But it's important to know that you still check it.
Yeah, we got a great system, so we don't have to check every email or download link or wait before we can download or listen. We just have an upload on our website, which goes onto our FTP server, which we can just check like every song. We can check like directly.
Oh, perfect. Great to know. That's definitely a great tip.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again. Nice to speak to you again. And hopefully I'll see you soon somewhere.
Yeah, probably. The summer season starting. Festivals.
Definitely. Lots of festivals, yeah. Well, have a nice evening, and thanks again.
Yes, thank you too, man.